This will be an introduction to the vocabulary words in Lesson 4, Group 3. First on this list is dui. Dui means correct. It contains two radicals that both should be familiar to you. First of all, we have this one over here, which some students like to refer to as the fish. And then we have this one over here, which we saw in 时候. The 时, it is the inch radical. That is if you are a simplified character user. If you are a traditional character user, we're going to start up at the top. Middle, middle, side, side, horizontal line underneath. Two little ears, and then like wang peng to wang on the bottom. And then finally, inch radical on the right. Dui, correct. Next on the list is 外国, foreign country. 外国 starts with this Y, which means outside. Y has a radical that should be familiar. That is the evening radical. Then we have a horizontal line in the middle and a little dot on the right-hand side. 国 should be familiar to everyone. That is the same 国 that we learned in 美国 and 中国. So 外国 is foreign country. Next on our list is 请客. 请客 uses the same 请 that we first learned in 请问 in Lesson 1. Then we used in Lesson 3 as to invite. This is closer to the meaning of the Lesson 3 请. 请客 is a verb and an object. It means literally invite guest. The 客 means guest. Because it is a verb and an object, you cannot 请客 someone to do something. You simply 请 someone to do something. 我请你吃饭. 我请你去看电影. The way we use 请客 is if you wanted to say, for example, it's my treat. I'm buying. You say 我请客. Or if you're saying Wang Peng, took us out to dinner. Wang Peng 请客. Can't put another object on that expression. So the 客 is a new character, starts up at the top with the roof radical. Then we're going to do this piece right here. And finally, we make the box at the bottom. 客 is the same in simplified and traditional. 请 should already be familiar to you. Next on our list is 所以. 所以 is so or therefore, adding to our list of conjunctions. 所以 very often occurs in the same sentence as 因为. 因为 comes first, 所以 comes later. Because of whatever the first thing is, therefore the second thing happens. The 所 of 所以 will look very similar to simplified character users to the 听 of 听音乐. So just be careful to notice the differences there. To draw that 所, we're going to start up at the top and we go right to left. And then we finish that sort of shelter. And then we're going to draw our little flag. And again, we're going to start up at the top and we're going to go right to left. Finish that little shelter and draw the T. That's the 所. E starts on the left. That's one piece right there. Then we draw the little dot in the middle. And then we draw what looks kind of like an upside down Y on the right-hand side, or a person on the right-hand side. 所以, so, therefore. 不错 is an idiomatic expression that means not bad or pretty good. The character 错 by itself means wrong, so it's the opposite of 对, which was the first word that we learned in this group. But in this expression 不错, it literally means not bad, and idiomatically it sounds more positive in Chinese than it sounds in English. Not bad in English doesn't sound very good, but 不错 is maybe more like pretty good. So the 不 should be familiar to everyone. Simplified characters first. We're going to start over here on the left with this is the metal radical. And you may remember that we saw this same metal radical in the character zhong of dianzhong. Then we're going to come over here on the right and we go horizontal, vertical, vertical, horizontal, and then we draw a sun radical on the bottom, box with a line in the middle of it. If you are a traditional character user, the process is basically the same, but you're drawing a traditional metal radical. So starting on the left, top to bottom, finishing at the bottom, and then the right-hand side is the same as the simplified character, horizontal, vertical, vertical, horizontal, box, line, close. 不错, not bad. Also, please note that that C in pinyin sounds like a TS. So 不错, it sounds kind of like tsunami, right? The sound that starts the word tsunami. The word zhi is an adverbial expression like do and ye and may and bu. That means that it has to go before the verb, after the subject, before the verb. Zhi, only, simple character to draw, starts with the box, and then we draw the 8 on the bottom. Box on the top, 8 on the bottom, zhi, only. 我只喜欢睡觉. 算了 uses the same le that we saw in Thai adjective le. This expression, 算了, means forget it, like drop it, just let it go. This character, we're going to start, the swan, we're going to start at the top with the bamboo radical. This is the bamboo radical. Then we're going to draw the I radical. And then we're going to draw a horizontal line with a curvy line on the left and a straight line on the right. Swan by itself actually means to calculate. So swanla is kind of like saying it's been calculated in a way. The swan actually is apparently originally a drawing of an abacus. If you know what an abacus is, that's why there's bamboo on the top, bamboo radical on the top, because an abacus would have been constructed out of bamboo. And then it has kind of like the abacus, if you know what an abacus looks like, sitting on a table. Swanla, forget it. 别人 means other people. The ren obviously is a familiar character to us. The 别 is going to start up at the top with the box. Then we're going to draw power on the bottom. And remember, power starts with this piece on the right. And then we draw the piece on the left. Then we're going to draw the knife radical on the right-hand side. 别 can also stand alone as an adjective meaning other. And if you put a d, like the possessive particle d, after it, you can use it to describe all kinds of nouns. So, for example, 别的老师, other teachers. 别的学生, other students. We don't need the d when we're using this expression, though. 别人, just other people or another person. The last word on our Lesson 4 Group 3 list is na. This is exactly the same character that we learned when we were talking about this and that, right? Na, 张照片 is that photograph. Same na, but in this case it has a different meaning. It is used at the beginning of a sentence to mean then in that case. So in our textbook dialogue, for example, somebody says, 我只喜欢睡觉. I only like to sleep. And so the person that this person is talking to says, 那我去找别人. Then I'm going to go find some other people. So same exact character that we learned before, starts on the right, and then you draw 2 horizontal lines and a slash down through. And then this one also starts on the right with that B, and then the pole, the flag, and then the pole, as we've seen in many other characters. That's it, Lesson 4, Group 3.